What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be talking about the best cards for a certain position in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. And today is the position of power forward. So again, we have been doing this for every position this year, and it'll be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see how these guys get on. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We put more MyTEAM content here than anywhere else. And honestly, if you guys want to find out about the game, especially from the perspective of somebody who doesn't spend money on the game, that would be great. Or this would be a great place to look. So Harrington. Harrington's not very good. He's not awful though. He is really not awful. I cannot stress that enough. Like, he's not good, but like, he is not absolutely unusable. And like, for that reason, like, yeah, I'm gonna put him in detail. Like, he's got half range. He's got half range, which is something. He's got a really nice release, like mellow base, but he's just not very good in game, which is a pity. It is a pity, but yeah, he's not great. So then we've got Amari Startamar. I'm putting Amari in B tier. Look, you gotta put, like, Amari is bad for an opal. Like, Amari, simply put, is terrible for a Galaxy opal, but he's not terrible, period. Like, there are a whole lot of worse guys that are opal, or say that are power forwards that are worse than him, that a lot of people consider to be decent cards. It's just, again, a big issue with the fact that he's not that cheap either. It's not like he's a super cheap opal, and he came out at a time where he came out during those limited edition packs, and he was the troll opal of those packs. Like, him and Anthony Edwards were so much worse than all the other opals. It was crazy. Came out at a time when opals were still all at least 100k, and he was just, he might have been the first, the day he came out, he might have been the very first buyout opal. Don't quote me on that, but he could well have been the first buyout opal. Either way though, wasn't great, but not bad. I'm putting this AK. This AK can still be used. Like, if you really wanted to use this on Kurlanko, you could. He's not going to be good. Like, I'm not trying to argue that this Andre Kurlanko is going to be good if he's used today, considering the fact, obviously, the guy came out at Halloween. But you can still use AK and be fine. Like, he will shoot wide open. He will play pretty good. Even to this day, he'll still play pretty good defense. But the only issue with AK is that he just cannot create at all. And, I mean, he came out at Halloween, so he's going to be a little bit outdated. This Andre Kurlanko. S. Like, if we're talking about the top cards at that primary power forward position, I think he's going to be S. Surprisingly enough, this year the primary power forward position isn't as stacked as it was last year. Because last year it just took longer for us to get Dark Matters, and the primary small forward position was so bad because all the best small forwards are primary power forwards. Whereas this year, a lot of the best primary power forwards are actually power forwards. The best primary small forwards are actually small forwards. So a little bit different this year and last year. But Andre Kurlanko is really good still to this day. A very underrated player. Just because he's no longer like the best player to run at that position, when he was either the best power forward or small forward when he came out, does not mean that he's not brilliant. Like, the big issue with him in this game is that there's just so many tall players. There's so many taller players. There's so many guys that are either taller, that can play more defense, because the way the game goes in MyTEAM, a lot of defense is about how tall you are, especially if you play a swinging strategy. But if you just, like, AK is still more than usable as a cone in any scenario. He's still more than usable in any scenario in MyTEAM. Whether that be going out playing the game for money, whether you're playing unlimited, whether you're playing clutch time, whether you're playing TTO, AK for me is still a guy that is usable for anybody. So I've just realized I've spent like 5 minutes on with the first 4 players, so let's go quicker. Jameson, B tier. Jameson does not do anything well in this game. He doesn't do anything badly. Doesn't do anything well. Like, he's got a Lopez base, which is pretty nice on normal. He was the Signature Series lock-in for Season 4. He's just fine. Anthony Davis. Look, you can hate me all you want. I'm putting Anthony Davis in A. I don't rate Anthony Davis that highly. I think the reason why some people run with him is just comfortability. Like, if you have a juiced up Anthony Davis, then fire ahead. Be my guest. Go and use the card. If you're more comfortable with AD and you like using AD, honestly, be my guest. I just don't find him very good. I don't. And I haven't found him good since from the start. Like, I thought he's fine. If you ask me who I prefer, AD or Thurl, it's Thurl. AD or Garnett, it's Garnett. AD or Bowl, it's Bowl. Like, he's fine. No, McDyson, see. McDyson's bad. He's really not bad. Like, he's more than usable. And he was a super cheap lock-in, but lack of shooting kind of puts him down. Billy Cunningham, he's just too small. And Billy Cunningham is not a bad player. He's literally just too small. It's the only issue with Billy Cunningham. He has no flaws other than the fact that he is, well, just very, very small in game. But yeah, a not bad card though. Blake, I'm going Blake and B as well. Like, compare Blake to AD is just absolute blasphemy. And also, again, I only want 5. Like, AD might get moved up. AD honestly might get moved up because I only want to put 5 players in S tier. But like, Blake's way worse. Pettit, I'm sorry, Pettit, you're going C tier. I need to find E tier and worthless, guys. Zion's worthless. Zion's absolutely worthless. He's worthless. Tom Chambers is so bad. I've never seen a player as bad as Tom Chambers be used by so many people. Like, the amount of people that are considering using Tom Chambers is that have used Tom Chambers over the last while is nuts. Like, he is genuinely shocking. But like, we all know how bad Zion is. Like, the reason why vote for Zion was a thing, because Zion is absolutely shocking in game. I'm going to move him down 1. I'm going to move you down, you down. Is Blake worse than Amari? I don't think so. Bobo. AS. 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 A. I'm going to give Bobo, sorry, the S. I'm going to give Bobo the S tier inclusion, just because of the amount of Bobos I saw in 250. Bobo can be used so well, especially on next gen. He's got that length, but he can be abused. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Bobo can be abused. So anyone who thinks a Bobo is like this, like, perfect card, he can be abused. But the way he's abused can be dealt with. Like, he can be abused by just back down Punisher, but that can be dealt with in other ways. So, like, Bobo for me, I think he offers probably the most in this game, as far as him compared to AD. Like, he is a better shooter than AD. He's gonna move a lot better than AD, and he's 7'2". So yeah, he's gonna go S tier. DL. C. DL's got that duo with Penny, which for a while made Penny the literal best point guard in the game by a country mile. But DL's fine. Like, DL is definitely, let's put him D tier. He's on the level of like a Pettit. He's on the level of a Andre Kurlanko. He's probably not as good as McDyess, because McDyess is like super strong, but play lanes a little bit better. And then if you're looking at the guys higher, yeah, they're definitely better than like, look, as much as I do again like DL and kind of dislike Amari is the better card. Cam Johnson. I'm gonna go Cam Johnson to C tier. This guy's chick, and his player model is freaking huge. His player model is absolutely huge, lads. It is monstrous. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the hair. I don't know what it is with his player build, but it is very, very tall. So Cam Johnson, you're going to go C tier, and he's also a good shooter and decent at playing lanes. Boozer, I don't even think Boozer's that terrible. I don't think Boozer's that much worse than, if worse at all, than Pettit. I actually don't think Boozer's bad at all. Like, I know a lot of you guys are probably in shock that I'm not putting Boozer down in the lower tiers. Boozer, he's unbelievably good at shooting. He's one of, as far as just pure wide open catch and shoot centers, he's like a better version of John Collins. And like, if you're out here arguing John Collins belongs above E tier, then like Boozer's just a way better version of him. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Bosch. Bosch is gonna go B. Bosch is okay, definitely best 2 round at center. Yeah, like his release is iffy. Overall, though, a good player. His only flaw again is that release. Weber, at this stage of the game, Weber's E tier. Iffy release, just not great at anything. Like stuff he was good at, like post spinning, can't really abuse that anymore. He can't abuse all the things he's good at. And yeah, I just think that Weber nowadays is just outdated. Zaya or Cliff Robinson. Look, Cliff Robinson's one of the better players in B tier. If you can get used to that set shot 3 release, if you can't get used to it, obviously he's not going to be good. And that's the case with any card. If you don't like their release, you don't like shooting with them, they're not going to be good. But if you can, Cliff Robinson's actually really good. But I'm going to put him B tier. Issel. Issel's better than all these guys. Issel's not as good as AD. Like, I wish there was like a tier between A and B. I wish there was a tier between A and B. If there was no because like AD definitely belongs a tier higher than Issel, but Issel's also a tier better than these guys. Rodman, B. Rodman's very much like Cliff Robinson. He's better than Cliff Robinson. I will admit that Rodman is better than Cliff Robinson, but they are very, very similar players. In there is one there's one big flaw in like both of them, and it's their jump shot release. Even though their rating's pretty good. Dirk. Oh, what? How did I forget Dirk and Worthless? Dirk is so bad. I'm surprised with the Dunked Over Jokic meme that didn't end up becoming Dunked Over Dirk. I'm actually surprised about that. Dolph. Look, I think Dolph is such a good shooter. I'm putting Dolph in C tier. Even to this day, give me Dolph over Rodman. Give me Dolph over Rodman. I'm not putting Dolph in A, but give me Dolph over Rodman. Dolph is really good. Sabonis is not very good. He's kind of tall though, so I go D tier. He's supposed to like 25 perimeter defense as well. Screw it, give me Sabonis in E. Give me Sabonis in E, I don't like this card at all. Draymond, B tier. Draymond's really nice though. Like for his time, he was superb. Like this guy was a guy that people were using in comp, and he was 25,000 MT at a stage where you were only like, if you were buying any comp, if you were playing any comp, you were only using cards that were like 100k, and there were like people using like base. I was using base Draymond at one stage. It was just kind of nuts. But Mobley A, no brainer. Mobley's an A. I don't think he's as good as Bol Bol. Like that's kind of comparison. It's like, is Mobley better than Bol Bol? And the more I think about it, I think Bol Bol's better. Like I might have in my top 100 put Mobley ahead of him, but no, Bol Bol's better. This Giannis, I'm gonna go B. Oh my god, this is one of the toughest ones because this is my personal list. Giannis is going in A tier, but I know people really like Giannis. And like, if you use the excuse, oh, if you have Don Nelson, he gets like a good 3-ball. Like, I'm sorry, Don Nelson's a $500,000 MT. Don Nelson is more expensive than any single player on this list. So I'm not going to judge a player by how they are with freaking Don Nelson. Like, Don Nelson is literally like giving your players PEDs, but they cost a serious amount of money. I'm not going to judge in that scenario. I'm not going to judge by that scenario. But, yeah, so we're going to go 8 for now. He might get moved up. Tate's going to have C tier purely because he's 6'4". Like, Tate's in the Billy Cunningham section. I need to move some guys down from B tier. You're going to go down from B tier. And you're going to go down from B tier. I put Tate on similar to Billy Cunningham, as in they're like good overall card. The problem is that they're just very, very small and can't play the 2 guard position or any others. Like Jason Tate, they're at 6'6" of Billy Cunningham. Jason Tate is absolutely tiny, 6'4". Worthy's gonna go B. He'll play lanes. He'll hit wide open jumpers. That's about it. He's not the best card in the world. He's also not bad. But like that's kind of it. He's just objectively okay. And we got Jaron Jackson Jr. Jaron Jackson Jr. is going to go into A. No, I don't know why I was like half hesitating. Jaron Jackson Jr. is an insanely good card in my team. He is one of those guys that like you're going to have success with him. He's going to play very similar to AD. Is he as good as AD? No. He's not, but like if you ask me whether or not he's a good card, I think he's a really good card. I think he's a more than usable player. I think he's a player that a lot of people of all levels in his game are going to have success with. The only problem is you can't get him right now because he was in last month's Moments of the Month awards. But either way, if you have him, I still think he's really good. Like he's sometimes in and out of my own squad. Gianlian. I prefer Gianlian to Giannis, Evan Mobley, and AD. I don't think either of those guys make. Like I already got 2, and I know who my next 3 are in S tier. Gianlian's going in A tier, but like there's a reason why. Like you'll see why Giannis. Yeah, it's Giannis versus Bol and AK. By the way, I prefer AK to Giannis. I have said that from the very start that I think AK is better than Giannis. I don't think AK is better than like a 38 Hoff badged up Giannis with Don Nelson as the coach and a +4 diamond shoe. I don't think AK is better than that card. But I do think AK, especially off rip or just with gold badges added, is better than Giannis. But yeah, he's going to go A tier. John Collins, like I have to put him, as I've been talking about him, he's literally a worse version of Bob Pettit and Carlos Boozer, so I got to put him in E tier. I mean, he can reshoot though. He's wide open, he can reshoot. Controversial pick of the day, Josh Smith is an A tier player. I think the gap between Josh Smith and like an AD is so tiny. I think it's so tiny. I know some people will be saying, oh no, it's huge, it's huge. I think it's so tiny. I love Josh Smith. For what I do, Josh Smith offers almost the same. JT Thor. Look, he's not bad. Huge player build. Decent dribble style. Good release. JT Thor is actually not terrible in my team. He's part of that level up set, which was actually a really cool concept. I really did like that concept. Obviously, in the end, I don't think people cared that much about it, but I thought it was a really cool concept. But yeah, JT Thor. Yeah, he definitely belongs in C. Julius Randle. Randle's B. Randle's defensive stats aren't great. The guy comes with some decent defensive badges though. He's a really good shooter. Can kind of dribble with the ball. Like he's good. Like I'm gonna move again some guys up and some guys down. Is Blake gonna get moved down again? Nah, JT Thor is gonna go down to D tier. Bosch is going down. Dolphin Dre. I love Dolphin Dre, but Dolphin Dre are going down. And then McDice is going to go down to D tier. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Karl Malone. Karl Malone D tier, but Karl Malone's not bad. Like, he's really not bad. I think he's a solid player. But it's just as far as like new cards go. As far as cards go, like with the better newer cards, he's not great. Keldon Johnson. I'll go C tier for Keldon Johnson. He's 6'6", he's got a decent wingspan, but he's just that little bit small, even at that small forward position. Yeah, I'll put him him there. I'll put him in that tier. Kenyan Martin, A, no-brainer. He's a better Josh Smith. Kenyan Martin might be the best player in A tier right now. Especially off rip. Especially without any added hoffs. Kenyan Martin's actually really good. He's like a way better version of Josh Smith. Shoots the ball well. He's a little bit expensive what he is, but he's good. Kevin Garnett, C tier right now. I don't like this card. I have him. I haven't diamond contracted. I've tried to use him so much. I hate him. 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 I don't know why I hate him. Like, he just won't catch the ball, which is a bit of an issue considering this is a basketball game and one of your players will not catch the ball. He will not catch the ball. The ball will be right in front of him and he will just leave it. I don't know what it is. But this Kevin Garnett's going S tier. This Kevin Garnett's fantastic. The best player by far so far. Kevin Garnett's got a better release. It's on quick. He's going to play way better defense. He actually catches the ball. And that's the big issue. Like, this card, Kevin Garnett could be pushing A tier if he actually caught the ball, but he just doesn't. He will not catch the ball. But, yeah, S tier for Kevin Garnett. I'm going to go D tier for Kevin Love. Like, I always thought Kevin Love was worse than Carlos Boozer. I know Ty didn't, because I prefer Boozer's base 1 to Kevin Love's release. Speed-wise, Boozer's only like -5 on Love, whereas Boozer rebounds a lot better than Love. And yeah, I just thought they were very similar cards. I prefer the release of Boozer. I'm going to go B tier for Aldridge. Aldridge is one of the most slept-on players in all of my team. Like, he might be the most slept-on player in the entire game. Like, when he came out, nobody talked about this card, and they didn't realize that, like, we had just seen maybe at that time the best budget center in the game, considering he was less than 10,000 MT. And I'll show you guys, like, this card came out over a month ago, and what we were getting for a card over a month ago was 84 speed, 93 ball, an 88 block, perfect rebounding stats, 6'11" a power forward, gold interceptor, gold brick wall, gold intimidator, a lot of good shooting badges, and Brook Lopez base with a solid upper. Was he spectacular? No. Was he solid? Yes. Yes, he was. Larry's, I'm going to go D and C for Larry's. No, I'll go Dre and C. I'll go C and B. I'll go C and B for my Larry's. Larry, the new Larry's definitely better, especially on defensive end. It's just a little bit more athletic, but neither Larry are fast. That's kind of the issue with Larry Bird in this game, is that 2K made him very, very slow. But at the same time, it's not like he's bad at all. It's not like he even has any flaws. He's just a really, really solid card. And then we've got Larry Johnson, D, maybe E. I hate base 13. I'm going to put Larry Johnson E. You can argue if he deserves to be higher. I just hate that release so much. Larry Nance, A tier. A tier. Definitely not even close to an S tier spot, but I mean, off rip, he's up there at the top in A tier though. You have that Kareem base. He's got fundamental dribble style, magnificent defense, plays lanes, shoots the ball well. No, Larry Nance is really good. Bagley. I really like Marvin Bagley. I don't know why. I really like Marvin Bagley. Give me Bagley over anyone in C tier. Like, is Draymond Dolph better? Are Draymond Dolph and Bosch better than Bagley most of the time? Yeah, but Bagley's just better for me. Bagley for me is just like better Chris Bosch. I don't know why. I don't know. Screw it, I'm going to move Bagley into C because I know people are going to go crazy that one. I don't know why, but Bagley for me is just better. Maurice Lucas. Look, he's hovering. He's either... I prefer Josh Smith. I'm going to move Maurice Lucas up. I'm going to move Dan Issel down to B. Yeah, this tier is starting to look a little bit better now. Maurice Lucas, he can green despite having a 73 ball. Really good in defense. I hate the fact that I didn't get him in Ascension, but he's a really good card. Miles Bridges, he's like a worse version of Calvin Johnson and Billy Cunningham. He's not very good. Regardless of what Splash will tell you, Miles Bridges is not very good. Obi Toppins, I mean, I don't even like Obi Toppin, but this Obi Toppin is not that much worse. I'll go like D and B, I guess. I'll go D and B. Like, this Obi Toppin's fine. Like, he'll shoot. He's like a way worse version of Caron Butler. I move this one down. Like, this one's hovering. Like, Opal Obi-Toppin's okay. The only real difference is that one of them has hot badges and the other doesn't, but the hot badges don't really make the cards feel any different. So that's why the Opal and the pink and the Amethyst are basically the same. Siakam. Siakam's going into A tier. Every one of these cards in A tier does the exact same thing. They are all corner defenders who play lanes well, who are fast. They are all cones. They are literally all, like, these are all different levels of the exact same player. These all do the exact same job. All of my A tier. Pau Gasol. Another player in A tier who does the exact same thing as all of these guys with nothing new. I personally think of all of these, AK is slightly better than the rest of them, which is why AK is in A tier. I think Kevin Garnett is quite a bit better, and Bol is just kind of unique with his height. But all of these guys in the same tier. AK might... I'm tempted to move Kenyan up. Paul Millsap. His release is so iffy. It's so iffy. I've used him. He's fine. His release is so iffy. So he's going to go in B tier. Paul Silas. At this stage in the game, Paul Silas is still a C tier player. He's like a slightly worse Maurice. He's like a worse Maurice Lucas. I think he can get shooting badges. Not a great shooter, but he's identical 6 to Maurice Lucas. He's just smaller with a longer wingspan. Paul Silas was god though when he came out. Season 2, I remember how much of this game I grinded for Paul Silas to never get him, like 200 games. Richard Lewis is B tier, but I do like him. I do like Richard Lewis. His jump shot is so chick. He very, very rarely will miss. And he actually moves kind of well, so it's not like he's a bad card, but no, Richard Lewis is going to go B. Then Rudy Gay. So I'm going to go B and S. No, screw it. Let's go A and S. What am I talking about? A and S. This Rudy Gay is still really good. This Rudy Gay still is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You give him the right badge. There's a reason why most people ran him in 250. For me, he's like a better Kevin Garnett. He's a bigger Terry Dishinger. You've got Rudy Gay here. The only problem is he doesn't really get range. But, like, you can give him Chef. Still will dunk it on anybody. Still will play great defense. Not be the best to run at power forward, especially this one. This one can hold zone at power forward. This one can't. But yeah, they're honestly, why was I even considering putting him in B? Like, because he came out of Christmas. Not Rudy Gay was unbelievable when he came out. He's still very, very solid now. He's still a lot better than any of these guys in B tier. So Rudy Gay get into A tier. Serge Ibaka. High B. Really high B. I like Serge. I think for his price, especially when he came out, the fact he was like 8,000 MT when he came out, he was the best by far budget center in the game. Best budget power forward in the game. Wherever you want to run him, he was the best budget player in the game. But times change, and like I don't think he's that much better than like a Richard. And he's definitely not much better than Cliff Robinson. We're definitely not much better than Robin, if better at all. Sharif Abdul Rahim is going into A tier. Again, A tier is the biggest tier, but I mean, I kind of have to. They're all like quite a similar level. I think you can make an argument for any of these guys being in this tier, or you can make an argument for almost any of these guys being dropped. I'm gonna move Maurice Lucas down. I'm gonna move from B tier down. I'm gonna keep B tier as is. D tier down. I'm gonna move Malone. I'm gonna move Boozer. I'm gonna move Kevin Love. I'm gonna move Miles Bridges. And then from this tier down, I'm gonna move Blake, Amari. Amari's really falling down the tiers, isn't he? Billy Cunningham. And Keldon Johnson, maybe? No, I'll keep Keldon Johnson up there. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Kemp. Kemp is going to go A. Kemp could be an S tier player. Honestly, you know, screw it. AK, you're going A. Kemp, you're going S. Like, when we saw Kemp being ran, like, we didn't see Kemp run much in 250 because he's an RNG card, but, like, the guys we saw running Kemp, he was a beast, man. He can be used as a primary ball handler. He can be used as like an interior center. He can be used as a corner sitter. He plays lanes really well. You can use him as a power forward, guarding corner. Like, he can be used in so many ways. And that release on quick, the release on normal timing is iffy. The release on quick is actually, in fact, really, really good. Sean Kemp, one of my most surprising cards this year for how good he is. Like, I didn't think he was going to be worth it in terms of clutch time wheel. But as always, because I'll never get a clutch time wheel card, I've kind of conceded that. I've played over 600 games and got none of them. But if you got Kemp, you got a brilliant card in your hands. Stromae Swift is, like, he's like C or D tier. I'm going to put Stromae. Oh no, if I got Billy Cunningham in D tier, sure, almost it's going D tier. I mean, his animations are incredible, but he's like a way worse version of Maurice Lucas. Terry Cummings, E tier. Terry Cummings is shocking. He is shocking, lads. And now Thurl. I think, does Thurl get my last spot in S? Or do I go Kenyan Martin or AK back? I'm going to go Thurl. I'm going to finish out S tier with Thurl Bailey. Again, I think, obviously, if you add badges to some of these other guys, they can become better than Thurl. But I do think off-rip Thurl is top 5. And I think, yeah, these guys are better than AK. I don't think AK belongs. So, I'm kind of happy with that tier. Like, with these guys here, Wendell Carter Jr., C. Duncan, C. Zebo, E. Zebo's not, like, not awful. And you might be saying, why? Oh, I've talked this card up. But it's like, I've also talked up Boozer, and I'm putting Boozer in E tier. Like, he's actually kind of a deep position because, like, a lot of these guys in D tier are somewhat usable. Like, not if you're playing this game for money or you're playing competitively, but if you're just playing unlimited, if you're playing TTO, if you're playing clutch time, a lot of these guys are kind of usable. C tier, these guys I would say are pretty solid cards. B tier, pretty good. A tier, very good. A tier, S tier, if you use any of these cards as your main power forward, you're gonna be fine. So anyway, yeah, that is the video, lads. This is the tier list for power forwards. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.